Sure. Back inside, the music wrapped around us again, louder than before. Laughter erupted nearby. My friends were dancing, their movements carefree and unrestrained. Mr. Taylor set his glass down on a nearby table, then turned to me and extended his hand. "Shall we?" For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood. My mind raced. This can't be happening. The cold, detached CEO asking me to dance. Me, who worried too much, who avoided attention, who came from a place where every move was observed, judged, remembered. People were watching. Or at least, I felt like they were. But who was I to refuse him? He must have been drunk. He was being polite, gentlemanly. Maybe I was overthinking it. "Sure," I said. He placed his hand on my back, confident and steady, and led me onto the dance floor. He moved effortlessly, as if music lived inside him. Fast, precise, natural. I struggled to keep up, my steps uncertain. But he didn't mind. He adjusted without comment, guiding rather than correcting. I avoided his eyes, my cheeks warm. He noticed. "Are you shy, or not enjoying this?" he said lightly. "Oh, sorry," I said quickly. "I am a little shy, and not good at dance. Do you want to stop?" "No, you're leading it very well." He smiled then. A real smile. "I'm a natural leader, I guess." Before I could respond, a woman approached us, the same beautiful woman I had seen at the bar. "Excuse me, Mr. Taylor," she said politely. "Your car is ready." The music faded into the background as we stopped dancing. He stepped back, thanked me sincerely, and left without another word. I stood there, stunned. He had been different, warmer, gentler, human. Alcohol, perhaps, or something else I didn't understand. Not long after, another man approached me. He was handsome, sharply dressed. I recognized him immediately. He had been walking beside Mike Taylor the day I collided with him in the corridor. "Miss," he said, smiling, "Mr. Taylor would like to see you tomorrow. After work." He handed me a card. "Please call me. I'll arrange everything." I took it, my fingers trembling slightly. As he walked away, confusion crashed over me in waves. Was this a date? A meeting? Something work-related? Why tomorrow? Why outside the office? Should I tell them I was in a relationship? Or was I imagining something that didn't exist? It felt inappropriate to think of it as anything more than a professional interaction, just because of a dance, just because of a look. And yet, standing there, the card pressed into my palm, I realized one unsettling truth. That Christmas party hadn't just been an evening. It had opened a door, and I had no idea whether stepping through it would change my life or quietly destroy the one I already had. The party began to thin without me noticing when it happened. Music still played, but it had lost its pulse. Conversations softened into murmurs, laughter grew tired, and the room, once alive with color and motion, felt suddenly staged, like a set after the audience had left. I said my goodbyes mechanically, hugging people I barely knew, promising lunches that would never happen. All the while my mind was somewhere else. I replayed the night in fragments, the balcony lights, the city dressed in pearls, the weight of his hand steady at my back. The way Mike Taylor had looked at me, not through me, not above me, but at me, as if I were someone worth noticing. I called an Uber and waited in the cold lobby, my coat wrapped tightly around me. When the car arrived, I sank into the back seat, exhaustion settling into my bones. The city passed quietly this time, no longer dazzling, just distant. I watched my reflection in the dark window, red lipstick slightly faded, hair loosened from dancing. I looked different. Not changed, exactly, but awakened. By the time I reached our apartment, the building was silent. The hallway lights hummed softly as I unlocked the door and stepped inside. I moved quietly, slipping off my shoes, careful not to wake Al. In the bedroom, I hung the red dress back in the closet, smoothing the fabric once more before closing the door. It felt strange, like saying goodbye to something that had only just begun. I washed my face, wiped away the traces of the evening, and climbed into bed beside him. He shifted slightly, murmured something unintelligible, then fell back into deep sleep. I lay awake. The darkness gave my thoughts permission to roam freely, without judgment. Mike Taylor's face returned uninvited, his expression softer than his reputation, his voice low and calm on the balcony. Repetition, he had said, as if the word held weight only he could feel. I thought about the dance, how confidently he had led, how naturally he had adjusted to me without making me feel small or inadequate. He hadn't rushed me. He hadn't mocked my hesitation. He had simply accommodated me. A true gentleman, I realized. Not in the dramatic, outdated sense, but in the quiet way he made space for me, respected my boundaries without even naming them. I turned my head slightly and looked at Al. He was still sleeping, breathing evenly, unreachable even inches away. I thought about how rarely he looked at me the way Mike Taylor had, even in the beginning. How often my presence had become background noise in our shared life. Guilt flickered through me, sharp and uncomfortable. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I hadn't crossed any lines. And yet, my heart felt unsettled, stirred by something I hadn't asked for and wasn't sure I wanted. The card lay in my coat pocket, only a few feet away. Tomorrow, it seemed to whisper. I closed my eyes, but sleep didn't come easily. Instead, I floated somewhere between memory and possibility, between the life I was living and the life quietly knocking at my door. By the time I finally drifted off, one thought remained, clear and persistent. Some encounters don't end when the night does. Some stay with you, waiting,